Yes. We back in the building. You already know what time it is, man. It's time for the Posio podcast. We do this weekly, and we bring you different guests, different topics, different everything. And today is no different, But definitely got someone she's been on my show before. Like I said, it's usually gonna be like a lot of people that used to be on my radio show that's gonna be, coming in into my podcasting, and as well as new people. So that's how we're gonna keep it moving. But we here today, and we're about to talk about a lot of stuff because my guest here just shocked me. Well, it's not like she shocked me. I kind of knew a few days ago or whatnot. She's running for city, what?
Boston City Council in District 7.
Boston City Council. We're going to be talking about all of that and whatever else she's been doing, because at first I knew her as a podcaster, you know what I mean, and a radio personality, and she's done a little bit of this and that, a little bit of everything. Yeah. Right? A little bit of everything. So we're going to talk to her about all of that, and matter of fact, I'm going to let her introduce herself and kind of, say, kind of like give you a overview of what she does and what she's been doing and all that good stuff. And then we'll get the conversation started.
Yeah. Well, hi, how y'all doing? And my name's Padma Scott, and right now I'm running for Boston City Council in District 7, which includes Roxbury, parts of Dorchester, parts of the South End, and I'm from Roxbury, or spent most of my life in Boston. Mm-hmm. So I'm
the
running.
Berry.
Yeah, yes, the Berry, and I, as James told you, I don't really have a political background. I'll be honest with you. I like you said, I've been a podcaster. I was on radio for a few years. I've done a few things in entertainment. Believe it or not, I did stand-up comedy for a little bit. I did.
I didn't know about that one.
Yes. I did it for like 2 years. Nothing big, but I did it. I like to try new things. My background, basically, I've always done like retail management, things like that. So, I've managed other people. I've hired and trained people. So, I'm used to working with a team. Politically, this is new. This is all new to me. But I'm just decided to run because I got involved in some activism in the past 2 years. And basically everything that was going on with the whole pandemic, all of that, the mandates and everything, the vax passports, and so many things were going on. I just really was like, okay, I got to take a stand, and it's crazy because a lot of times you think as one person, you see all these things going on, and you think as one person, you're like, well, what can I do? But you can do a lot, especially if you connect with other people. So I just started coming out to some protests, some rallies, and I just linked up with some other people that came outside and were like-minded, because I just felt like no matter how you felt about the COVID situation, the vaccine, no matter how you felt about it, the mandates were unconstitutional. Like no one has the right to say, I'm going to force you to put this in your body, or you're going to lose your job. You're going to lose your livelihood. You can't take care of your kids.
Which a lot of people have, but.
Exactly. And a lot of people were forced. People, first responders, policemen, teachers, nurses, doctors, any type of healthcare worker, all those types of people, they were forced to either you take this or you don't have a job. People that worked through the pandemic, that were day in, day out around people that were sick, or always around people that were sick. That's actually their job. They made that sacrifice. Yeah. And
I'm one of them.
See, Yeah. And yet, all of a sudden, when this new injection came out,
we were what you call essential workers, and then at the end, we become sacrificial workers.
Right. Exactly. Like we used to chant when we were protesting that, we would say, what was it? Yesterday's heroes, today's zeros, because they treated you like nothing.
Yeah.
And so me and some other people, we just came out and stood out. Like I didn't lose my job because wasn't an essential worker, but my heart still goes out to you and all those people.
I was, but I refused to take it.
Right. Good for you.
I didn't want to take it.
Right.
There was nothing that was going to make me take it.
Right. Same with me. There was nothing that was going to make me take it or let my child take it. And so, but again, no matter how you feel about it, if that was your choice, but no one has the right to mandate it. It was actually illegal. All of that stuff was illegal.
Of course it was.
Right. It's unconstitutional.
You should have a choice to want to do whatever, take whatever, put whatever in your body. That's your choice. If you want to do it, that's fine. I'm not against it at all.
Yeah, I can't tell you.
I'm not against it, but I'm not gonna do it myself.
Right. No. Yeah. Me personally, I'm against it. That's another whole story. But my whole thing was,
when I mean I'm not against it, meaning that you could make whatever decision you want. That's on you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I'll just present the fact in front of you, and I'll tell you what it is. I'll give you my opinion on it. If you want to take it, go right ahead.
Right.
But you're not gonna convince me to do that.
Right. Exactly. I'm with you. You know, that's but that's my whole thing was that it. No matter how you feel about it, the government does not have the right to mandate that. And yes, they did. And then even with the vax passports, like you can't enter. We couldn't enter a restaurant, a gym, a movie theater. What else? Libraries, everything. If you weren't, that's total tyranny.
A lot of businesses got destroyed. Like
right. Yeah. Oh, restaurants were suffering. Businesses closed. I mean, the whole COVID shutdown. How many businesses were not able to reopen?
Yeah, we lost a lot of business. A lot of stuff that was supposedly somewhat essential to the city. A lot of them, okay, for example, the little moms and pops. Right. People don't understand how essential those things are. They keep the market balanced. Small businesses keep the economy going. Right. It keeps the market balanced because it's like, if you don't have them, I'm gonna put it plain and simple. If you don't have none of those, then guess what you have? The big conglomerate, big businesses, and they can tell you whatever they want. They could charge you whatever they want, and then you won't be able. You don't have an alternative. That's basically what it is.
Right.
There's no alternative. And when you don't have an alternative, guess what happened? You're pretty much a slave of the system because they're going to give you whatever they want to give you. They're going to charge you whatever they want, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Right. And that's the design. And none of it made sense. Like how you're telling me, oh, the mom and pop stores have to close because, oh, you might catch COVID. Oh, I can't catch it at Walmart where there's many more people running in there. The whole thing, I mean,
it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense at all.
None of it.
But it's crazy though. Like without cutting you off, because I have to interject every once in a while.
Yes, please
without
do.
cutting you off, it's crazy how like when you're looking at certain things that is like common sense and whatnot or whatever, and then people are just kind of like going nuts over it, and you're like, hold up, it's right in front of you. You're looking at it.
Right.
But yet they still deny it. They still deny that they're seeing what they're seeing.
Right.
Or hearing what they're hearing. It's like it baffles. They're still doing it till this day.
I know.
It baffles me when you show them something like that's right in front of you, and then they still don't get it. I don't understand that part.
I don't either. I'm still confused. But my only guess is that they put so much fear in people.
Well, yeah,
so much fear that it just kind of brainwashes people. Like so much fear that no matter what facts I tell you, like you said, it's right in front of your face. No, I'm still gonna do this because I'm so afraid. But
but that's the thing. It's the lack of confidence and somewhat knowledge and confidence that's missing among. Let's just talk for our people. Among our people, they just they don't know. They don't. Funny thing is, they have a phone in their hand which have all the information that they need. Yeah. They won't seek the knowledge, but they'll argue with you about the knowledge.
Right.
Isn't that the weirdest thing?
It doesn't make
sense.
They
won't seek it. They won't go figure it out what it is for themselves, though.
Right.
They'll just let somebody else tell them what to think and what to feel.
Yeah.
And then they'll just take that and then argue with someone that actually goes and does the freaking research.
Right. That was so weird because ever since this whole thing started in 2020, like personally, I never trusted the government anyway. So, but my whole thing was I don't trust them, but I'm just gonna, pay attention as much as I can, live my life, do the right thing, take care of my son, whatever. But then when this COVID stuff happened, they weren't letting us lead our everyday lives anymore. I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
They're interfering with everything.
Your daily life. That's what got me said, okay, I got to come outside. I got to try to do something. So
I think the next question would be like, it would be fair to ask, if you so not trust this government and kind of like have issues with it or whatnot, why would you want to be part of it?
Yeah, that's really an excellent question. My whole thing is that I believe in the Constitution, and I believe that we the people, we got to stand up. Some of us have got to stand up and try to get in office, because if none of us do, it's a guarantee that we're just going to have people that are in power that really don't care. And I'll be honest, I have a lot of competition. All those people that are running for District 7 obviously have way more experience than me. But I guess I just have the audacity. You know what I mean?
Sometimes that's all it takes.
I'm going to do it. And no matter what happens, after September 12th, which is the vote for the preliminaries, I'm still going to be out here doing what I can do. It's kind of like, I just feel like we the people, regular people, we got to stand up because we're allowed to do that. Not all countries allow that. Like in another country, a person like me, everyday person like me couldn't just say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and run and go and actually do it. So that's where I'm at. And I definitely have to shout out 2 other friends of mine who I've also been activist with. Catherine Vitale, she's born and raised in Dorchester, and she's running for city councilor at large. And then also Sean Nelson, also born and raised in Dorchester, who is also running for city councilor at large. So look out.
Big up. When you say big up to those 2 people, by the way. When you say you were doing activist stuff or whatnot, what is it in particular you was being
right?
You was activism. What is that? Okay. If that's a word?
No, it is. It's thing. Yeah. But I'll be honest. It basically started out with all the COVID mandates and protests.
So that's one of them.
That's where it started for me. And I have to say we protested the mayor, and it's been in the news. Some people know, some people don't. That we protested her at her house. We did, because originally we did all the things they say, the phone calls, the emails. We went to City Hall and protested first because she was ushering in, as soon as she came to office, was ushering in vax passports, mandates, everything.
All those craps. Yeah.
All of it. Like it was crazy. Complete government overreach. So, but then she of course she didn't answer us. She actually did close down City Hall at one point, so we couldn't protest there. So we decided to go to her house. Now, mind you, other mayors, Marty Walsh, Menino, other mayors have had people protest at their house. That's not a new thing.
That's not a new thing.
And none of us were violent or anything like that. But she decided she can't have that. She never spoke to us. But she decided to write up, this is in March of 2022. She wrote up an ordinance which is actually unconstitutional and illegal. She wrote up in an ordinance that says that restricts protesting. You can't do that.
You can't do that.
You can't do that.
She don't have the right to peacefully protest.
Right. We were peaceful.
Yeah.
We were not violent. We were not threatening her. That's what she says to the media, and the fake mainstream media supports that. She had like 16 cops in front of her house daily. I kid you not. We have video of all of it. If we had been violent, we would have gotten arrested. We did not at that time.
Because I'm sure there's a couple people right now thinking like, where does she stand? Like, what is your position in this race? Like, why are you leaning to? We don't have much parties or whatnot or whatever,
right.
But there's also you can create your own lane or whatnot or whatever.
Yeah.
So where would you say you stand? If someone asks you like, where do you stand in this political realm?
Right.
Like, which side and what is it that your core value? What do you believe in and whatnot or whatever?
Right. Okay. First of all, I'm not Democrat or Republican. I'm independent. Always have been. But I would classify myself as more conservative, really. And some people feel when you say you're conservative, they think they know everything that you believe in. They think, and that's not the case.
Yeah, because they're being trained by the media to look at the conservative word as right. if like you against our own people.
Right.
Which is the most ridiculous, stupid thing. The funny thing is, if you look at it, most black people have been conservative in their mind, in their values, in whatever it is.
And even historically.
But historically,
right.
what it is that they made them believe that that's not what it is. It is something else.
Yeah.
And then so when you go against that, it triggers them and whatnot
right.
or whatever. It's the craziest thing. Before that, I'll say like in the 80s, 70s, 80s, that word triggered was never a word. It wasn't even a thing. Like all of a sudden, people are triggered by words. Like how do you get triggered by words? I don't understand.
I don't know. And triggered, really, people like to throw the word around triggered. Yeah. Not you, but I'm saying it really is a psychological term for
it's a cop out.
If you've been traumatized and but people just throw these words. Oh, you're triggered. Like, no, maybe I disagree.
It's like you constantly playing the victim. If you're being triggered by a word or somebody's idea. It's like you playing the victim role. Like, why would you be just have something opposite of that? counteract whatever it is that you against. You know what I'm saying? Come up with what you call ideas and solution and whatnot. You know, with a better idea than what it is that you against her. But triggered?
It's a strong word. It's like
I don't get it.
It's or so easily offended, or even I've heard people now they're using a term. Violent language. Okay, I'm sorry. Language is not violent. Language are just words coming out of my mouth. You may be offended. Your feelings might be hurt, but it's not violent.
But it's not violent. This is the thing that they used to kind of like scare you into having your own independent ideas or thinking toward whatever subject it is. You know what I mean? Because once you say something that they don't like, they call it violent talking. Like,
violent speech.
What? I didn't even touch you. How are you violent?
Words are not violent. I can say words all day. You may not like it, but it's not violent. Violence is violent. If I physically harm you, that's violence. Mm-hmm. But it's all just, it's a way of censoring us. It's a way of cutting back on our free speech, which is very dangerous.
I actually feel bad. Like, I feel pity. Yes, I'm saying it. I feel pity for the new generation, because it's like, they're being led towards something that's not going to be good for them in the near future, and they cannot see past certain things to get to that. It's like some people cannot even think further than tomorrow.
Yeah, that's sad.
They can't. Like, they need they need constant guidance. But that's crazy though.
It's
like
control.
And I do blame the media, the mainstream media, and definitely the music.
Yeah.
In the culture, because they always say that your environment and your culture kind of like mold you into who you are. But sometimes too, you have to take a step back and figure it out yourself, though. Like, you know what I mean?
You have to.
Don't let other people tell you how to feel and what to say and how to. It's crazy. Like,
but then you're a robot.
Yeah, I've always been an independent thinker. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no way in hell. Like, if I don't see the logic into something, you're not gonna convince me about like, if I see this bottle of water, tell me it's a bottle of wine. I know it's not a bottle of wine. Right. So it doesn't matter how. It doesn't. Just like a pig, you could dress the pig, put lipstick on the pig, put perfume on the pig. It's still a freaking pig. Right, I don't care what you do. And that goes for all the little groups out there that's kind of trying to force people into believe into their own thinking. Right. But like, I don't mind you do like. I honestly, like, I'm like the type of people that live and let live.
Right. I as long as you're not harming anybody, you're not harming me or anybody, you're free to do what you want. I don't have to agree with you. You don't have to agree with me. That's fine.
I'm not mad. I'm not upset about what it is that you do. Do what you do.
It's your life.
I don't care. I mean, I really don't care.
Right.
Like, I
you
really
have
don't.
free will. It's
but once you cross that line where you try to make me believe or try to push me into doing what you're doing, then we have a problem.
Right. People trying to say that make their opinions yours.
Yeah, that's when we have a problem.
Yeah.
But let's go into you can if you want to. You know, me I don't like it, to tell the truth. I'm not a big fan of having this thing in my I'm listening to my own voice talking while I'm talking. It annoys the hell out of me. I don't know why. I don't understand it, but it does to me.
I feel a little better now.
But what I'm saying is, like, what really, 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 like, because, geez, Padma has never been into politics or whatnot or whatever. What made you believe and kind of push you into that direction and kind of made you believe that, okay, you know what, I can make a difference? What triggered? Well, what triggers that? You know what I mean?
Everything. I honestly think maybe because I'm a mother, I have a son. He just turned 18, but I started looking at what was happening in the world, and I said, I don't want my son or any young people to have to grow up in a world like this. Like, when we grew up, it was never perfect, but it wasn't like this. We had free will. You could disagree with people. You had the freedom to express yourself. Like, the level of censorship, like, of course, when I was my son, there was the internet, like when I was, but you could have an opinion. People didn't get mad at you. One thing I noticed, especially with the whole COVID thing that started, when I started posting little things like, okay, why not take care of your immune system, things like that. Like, I'm not trying to,
I was getting blocked every other month.
Basic things that I was shocked people were coming for me on social, inbox me saying, you're giving out false information, blah, blah. Like they were angry. And I was like, all I said was vitamin D. All I said was get some sunlight, take care of your immune. I mentioned the immune system because when the COVID thing first happened, I was getting mad. I got mad because I'm looking at all the stations, just hoping to find that some news station or somebody in the media would mention the immune system. They wouldn't even say the immune system.
No, they were blocking everybody that was saying it, and they were kind of like, and people was going against everyone that was kind of like have a different view or idea of how it is to approach the whole situation. Me, I was one of those people that constantly never waver. Like I was fighting all the time.
I saw you.
I was getting blocked. You see me? I was getting blocked. I was fighting fighting hard against everyone.
Right.
But the thing is, that's lack of knowledge that causes people to react that way. And I'm not saying I'm the smartest man in the world or whatnot or whatever, but I kind of like went out there and seek like informations, whether it was to religion or scientific or philosophy or cultured or whatever it was, you know. I kind of went and dig into different things and whatnot. And I honestly believe the whole COVID thing was a psyop.
I totally believe that.
I felt like it was a psyop. You know what I'm saying? That to kind of like, it was a test. It was definitely a test for what's coming.
Right.
Because bigger thing is coming. Please believe me when I tell you that. Bigger thing is, you can call me conspiracy theories if you want, but I'm telling you, when it comes, don't act like I didn't say it.
Right. You've been telling people past 3 years.
Listen, I was arguing since day one, and I was telling everybody. Right. Now the people, especially the people at my job, I was arguing with them I was like the lone wolf.
Wow, especially because you're into medical. Right.
I was the lone wolf at my job. Like everybody was against me.
I believe
everybody was against me. They didn't believe it. And I kept telling them, but I never backed down. Right. I never backed down. And I kept telling them. And it's funny that now a lot of them are starting to be like, oh. You know, the funny thing is they won't admit it. That's one of the other problems.
That's ego and pride.
That's another problem right now. A lot of them knew they were wrong when things was happening right now, but they refuse to admit it now. But but you know, I'm not. I try not to be an asshole, but pointing it out.
Right.
But you know, kind of stay neutral. But you can tell that they know they were wrong when they start coming to you for advice.
Oh, that's their way. Wow.
That's
James
the way of saying, That's the way of saying, you know, hey, maybe we were wrong. You know what I'm saying? They start coming to you and asking you different questions. Before, they weren't doing that. They were just straight arguing everything you were saying.
Yeah, no matter what you said.
No matter what you said, they were arguing it.
Didn't matter.
It was weird. It was just
the strangest
weird.
thing. I still can't believe it.
It was weird.
And just remind me of something when you talk about, because you're in the medical field. This was back in like October of 2021, and it was right before they decided they were going to start all these hospitals. Oh, we're getting rid of everybody who's not getting the jab. So we went out there in front of Boston Medical.
I was being threatened at work, all that stuff.
Horrible.
Yeah, but you know, I didn't back down.
Of course not. No. So we were out there protesting on behalf of people like you. And I'll never forget, there were some people, we got a lot of support, and then some people like, you're crazy. But I'll never forget, there were a couple of nurses that came in. I remember one in particular, she came out, she just came out, she said, oh, thank you guys so much for doing this. And I said, yeah. And she just started crying. I'm like, are you okay? She came up to me, we both gave each other a hug. She told us so much, but because she was against it, and she was about to lose her job. And she said to me, she said, you can't, this is at Boston Medical now. She said, you can't imagine what it's like in there. It's a slaughterhouse. Those were her exact words. She talked about how she was treated so badly by her peers.
Yeah, they forced my sister into get it. Because my sister is a nurse, and they threatened her. They threatened her, if you don't do it, you're going to lose your job.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I'm against the whole thing, and I try to get my family not to, you know, whatever, but they you know, sometimes, you know, member of families, they gullible, they have that liberal mindset, you know, whatnot, and they believe everything that the media tells them.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things. My sister actually took it, and I was very pissed about it. And my nephew. Anyway, I don't want to get into it.
No, but I
was so mad because I tried to tell them, I tried to give them evidence and all that stuff and try to explain to them. But you know, the pressure sometimes is a lot. I understand a lot of people that took it, they couldn't help it because the pressure was a lot.
Right.
They were pressured. It was a lot of pressure for them to take it or lose their job.
Right.
Think about it. If you got a kid, you're on your own, and then
And that's how they get people. They know that.
You know what I mean? But I've always been one of those guys that always felt like I was I'm a soldier. I've been a soldier since day one.
Right.
And then I even said it to them, you know, like, hey, listen, look at me. I got 2 arms, 2 legs that function, and I can walk, I can do whatever. Believe me, I'll be all right.
Right. God will give you
even
something
even if I lose my job, it's okay. I'll be all right.
Right. Be all right.
I'm not worrying about that.
Right.
I'm not worried about it because I have a brain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can use that to get back up and do whatever I gotta do.
Right.
But not everybody have that type of mentality or that type of confidence about
they put
themselves.
so much fear in you.
Yeah.
How am I going to take care of my kids? What am I going to do? I'm going to be on the street. But but it makes me so angry because if we could have all stood together and just said no, if everyone could have just been.
I wish they did though. But there's only a few of us that sort of like when attacked, we become stronger.
Yeah.
Like I'm one of those. Like when I'm attacked, you don't want to attack me because when I'm not attacked, I'm like a girl. I'm not a gentle. I'm a gentle, person, whatever.
You're a good person,
but when I'm attacked, I get in that mode. Yeah. That soldier mode, and it's whatever.
Yeah.
It's whatever with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Believe me, you're gonna have to kill me.
Right. That's what it comes
You're
down
gonna
to.
You're gonna have to, because I'm that type of slave back in the days that ran off the plantation like 1,000 times and get beat up and still and still try it again.
Right.
Till you kill me.
For freedom.
I'm that guy.
Right.
You know, I'm that type of guy with that type of mentality. But with that said, it was just like now that you decided that, you know, okay, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
What is the step? Because I don't know how this step is. Because I don't think I want to be a politician. Because I wasn't too much of a nice guy in my youth. I've done a lot of stuff, so I don't want them to dig into my past. We have skeleton in our closets, all of us. So I would not run for office, but I'll be the soldier on the field when you need me.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, what was the state of mind when you sat there and then you like, okay, I'm gonna do this, but I'm going to. What is it that you need? Because a lot of people might want to run and they don't know how to go about doing that. Okay. So how did you go about doing it?
Well, first of all, I went back and forth with the decision for like almost a year. I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And then it came down to the end, like a bunch of people have said people around me, and even people that I would talk to when I get in conversations like this, I would say, hey, somebody said to run for city council. I'm not doing it. They said, no, I think you should do it. Or no, I would. There are a few people who say things like, well, if you were running, I'd vote for you. And then I just said, you know what? Because I would, you know, I pray. I believe in God, I pray. And I said, well, God, show me what I can do in this, because this situation is what's going on in the world. It's so crazy.
It's crazy.
Please use me. I'm not sure. And so enough people kept saying, Pamela, go ahead and run. I said, okay, I'm going to do it. I said, I just got to say yes. Because what's the worst that can happen? I do it and I don't win. That's okay. But it's still a win, because I went out there and I gave it my best shot.
So you have that experience.
And talking to people. But the thing that made me decide, the one thing was like, if I don't try and things get worse, I'm going to look back and say, well, Padma, you had a shot, because you live in a country now, well, at least we still got our freedoms now, where I can stand up and run. So let me just give this a shot. And also I'm hoping to inspire more people. There's people out there that's way more experienced than me, know more about this than me.
They might be scared to kind of try. Yeah.
I would encourage them, give it a shot. If I can do it with no political experience, but with a heart, with a passion, I have integrity, I have courage. I'm not afraid of these people. Like, and I don't mean that in a boisterous way.
No, I understand
I'm
what
tough.
you mean.
I ain't tough, but I'm solid.
You feel like it's your duty, to do this. Yeah.
I feel like it's my duty, and like I said, because I have a son and young people, the young generation, man, I didn't have to go through wearing masks, being shut out of school. The fact that they forced young people, children, they lied to parents to get this injection to children, to babies. First of all,
even
when
5, 6 years old
babies, they passed it at 6 months old. That's why the stuff to me is so evil. I said, whatever I got to do, I'll pick up any tool that I can to fight all of this. And if this is a tool, okay, I can run. There's nothing. that can stop me.
Tell the people again, what are you running for?
I'm running for City Council, Boston City Council in District 7, which is my district. You run for the district that you live in. I live in Roxbury. District 7 includes Roxbury, parts of the South End, parts of Dorchester. So I just said, I got to another thing too, that I'm very concerned about, the whole mass and cast situation. And that's in my district. And we all know where it is over by Boston Medical and all that.
Yeah.
But it's spreading throughout the whole city. And it's over. I live not too far from Dudley Station, Nubian Square. It's spreading over there. They got people. It's just allowed. Let me just go off on a tangent.
By Mass Ave, right?
Yeah, Mass Ave.
Funny thing is, you know how we connected, because I actually work with the people. I work with them at my last job, because I was working for ABCD, the one in Malden.
Okay.
I was working for them because I was like an outreach, coordinator or whatever. It's more of a, like, I go outside and I deal with the homelessness and the people that's in the streets or whatnot or whatever. I used to go down there every Monday, and I was working with the women's shelter that's around there, around Mass Ave. There's one right back there. Is that a McDonald's? I forgot if it's a
McDonald's over there.
Yeah, so down the street from McDonald's to the left, there's actually a huge facility where they have male homelessness and whatnot, the people that's homeless or whatnot, they have like places for them to sleep at night.
Wow.
And I work with the women's shelter and the men's shelter.
Good for you.
I was out there helping them finding jobs and places to stay and all that good stuff. And I've done all that. I've dedicated my life to that. I've been doing this I've been doing this for 20 some years.
Wow.
But mostly working with kids. Like DYS, DSS, autistic, sexual, assault kids and behavioral kids and whatnot. I've done it all. I've done it a little bit of everything. Women sheltered, whatever. I've done it all in the past 20 some years. I'm actually right now at the present time working with autistic kids.
Oh, wow.
I have been working with them for a while. I've been in that company since 2005. Okay. I left and came back, and I'm still there. What I mean, for years. I mean, I left because I wanted to have like an understanding about every aspect of it. So I kind of went into the DYS section. Yeah. I was working with the kids gang unit.
Wow.
Working with the kids that's in gangs and whatnot, that's incarcerated. That's some of the kids that committed like the most craziest crime out here in the Massachusetts area. I work with them. I work with DSS kid. I work with behavior kid. All of that. So basically, I should run for something.
You
but
should.
But the thing is a lot of these people that don't understand what it is exactly that's going on. A lot of people don't get it, because I was for example, perfect example. I was watching this thing. I have to bring it up. Yep. I was watching the Black Conservative channel today on YouTube, and I do watch him. Big up to Greg. And he does a amazing job of kind of putting it out there and letting you see it yourself. Where in Florida, that thing in Florida right now, that people, they kept accusing the DeSantis of being racist, blah blah. Right. And then what they do, which was perfect. You see what they had a clip, right, where he said something about, he was making a comparison about baseball and basketball. And he was saying that he think baseball is more of a democratic type of sports, because in baseball, which is true, you get to play different position that requires different set of skills to play. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because it's different position, that it's easier for someone to go into baseball than to go into basketball. Because basketballs, sometimes it's like the skills sets of those players is like freakish. It's like, whoa, like you've never seen that things before. Yeah. We it's like freakish. They took that. Mind you, he said the NBA basketball player. He didn't single out no different groups. Right. He said basketball players. They took that and said, "Oh, we know what he meant." Like he was being racist toward the. Like you telling everybody that that's all we have in the NBA is black people. Or only black people knows how to play basketball. Right. You saying it to yourself. You being racist while you telling somebody else he's being racist. Right. Like, this is crazy. And now what they did, right after he said that, he said, this is what he said after he said the freakish thing. He said, which I think that those basketball players are amazing. It's like they got amazing talent. I love the fact they have amazing talent, but not all of us have that amazing talent. It's all about context. Right after he said the freakish thing, they cut this.
So you don't hear the rest of what he says. Of
course. Exactly.
So that's the media.
But that's what they do. They'll cut whatever you said. They'll nitpick a little bit of what you say and leave the context out so people won't know what it is that you said afterward, because what you say afterward matters.
It does. Everything that you say
because it makes the whole sentence or whatever the idea or the thought process or whatever you were saying clearer. Right. Or whatnot or whatever. And then so when they cut that out, and you that don't know that didn't see the interview, didn't see whatever, and you see that alone, you'll be like, what? He calls us a freak.
Right. And that's exactly what they want.
But the thing is a lot of things that black people don't understand and our people don't understand. We are emotional people. And they use that every time
they go to the racism because of our history in this country. They know that's gonna get you.
They know how to press the button.
Yes, and
but we have to do a better job of not. See, that's what I don't understand. If we're complaining about, if we know that the establishment, that these people, so-called the system, is doing this to you, why would you fall for it every time?
It's weird.
You keep saying you know that they're doing this, that, and the third to you, but yet you fall for it every time. Yeah, that is weird.
I'm confused, and especially when we got to go back to this whole COVID thing. It's like, okay, I never trusted the government. Why would I trust them when they're pushing a vaccine on everyone, but they're targeting black people because they know that black people as a group were the least vaccinated.
And they were the same people talking about my body, my choice.
That's that, and I've asked. It's the biggest hypocrisy. My body, my choice. Fine. If you believe that, then that goes for everything for your body. And I've never heard an answer to that. I've said that to people. We protest. There's no one has ever been able to explain that away.
They don't. What they do. Let me tell you the technique that they use. Let me tell you what they do. When you approach them and then you have a valid point, and then they know that what you're saying is true. What they do, they try to dismiss it by cracking a joke. Jump to the next subject, like push the goalpost. They move right along as if like you didn't ask them the question that you just asked them, as if like what you just said never existed.
I never heard that.
You know what I'm saying? They act like they were not the one like for the past 2 years arguing that same topic. Where then when you put it in front of them, they act like I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
They deny whatever, or when all that failed, they go into straight up disrespecting you.
Oh yeah, they love to
calling you out, calling you name.
Yeah.
And try to cancel you out.
Yeah, they could pick on anything, and just.
But they never address the actual topic.
Right, because they can't.
And I found out. You know what I found out through experience in dealing with some of the people at my job is like when you tell them, okay, you prove it to them. You're like, okay, look what I was telling you about, blah blah blah.
Right.
Well, I don't want to talk about that. This is what, and you're like, hold up, but you spent a whole year arguing with me about this whole topic.
Right. But now you don't want to talk about it.
Now you don't want to talk about it.
When it's being proven, when the facts are there.
You want to move right along to the next subject.
It's insane.
And they keep doing that over and over and over and over and over and over. And they just keep moving the goalposts.
Yeah, exactly. Moving the goalposts. And just even as, going back to my body, my choice, just like, okay, when they first, first of all, in Massachusetts, all the laws on abortion are the same. But anyway, remember last summer when it, the Supreme Court said we're putting, restrictions on abortion laws.
Now do you.
Now, everybody all over the country has so much to say. People doing all type of protests. And I'm all for protesting. Fight for whatever you believe. This is the United States of America. Freedom of speech. But people were wilding out over that. Doing wild stuff. But then that same exact weekend, just bringing it back to like some people that I know. I wasn't there that day, but it was probably four people that I protest with. Mothers, women, went out in front of the mayor's house in Roslindale, and silently were just holding signs about her mandates and everything that she was still continuing. They all got arrested, and I'm telling you, they were not. But just the weekend, a couple days before, it was okay to go wild when it was the George
in front of Kavanaugh's house.
Yes. Oh yes. Now this is someone who was really threatened, and that was A-okay. But you got us peaceful protesters. We were peaceful. We got tapes of everything, mind you. Mm-hmm. No one physically threatened her. She's lied on the mainstream media, and they're going with it. People are getting arrested, and the reason people were getting arrested, going back to that, she wrote up the ordinance, but the ordinance itself even said that you can only be fined. She didn't fine anybody. She just started arresting folks. She went straight to bringing people to court and arresting them, and several of them still have court cases to this day. Mm-hmm. It's all, but we're not going to stop. She's going to have lawsuits. Like, you can't do this. And also, just so another thing that has recently happened, because I don't want to forget. Okay, I don't know. A lot of people may not know, but the Mayor Wu put out a political hit list of me and 15, 16 other people. I also found out that she put it out in June of last year, June 22. There's also, I found out a master list, which she had out since, I believe, of April last year, and it came out in a public records request, and that's so unethical. It's illegal. You can't do that. They can. It's come out though. She tried to cover it up. We found out. It's been in some papers that will cover it. They're comparing her to Nixon.
What are you guys doing about that?
Oh, we're doing something about it. We went down actually to City Hall in late June to talk to her directly. She was not there. We came in there. We didn't leave. No one would help us. So we're like, okay, well, who can we speak to? Can we speak to this person? It's always, no, I can't help you. No, I can't help you. No, you mean nobody in all of City Hall? Y'all can write
They're scared
notes.
to lose their job.
This is exactly. This is conspiracy against citizens. It's not. We're trying to make a big deal out of nothing. People need to understand. Everyone on that list are law-abiding citizens. We're on a hit list, which was sent to the Boston Police Department.
When you say hit list, what do you mean?
I mean a list of you're targeting people. It's it's an enemy list. Nixon used to do that. Stalin used to do that. Yeah. Anybody that disagrees, yes, all of them. That's what they do. People need to understand, for a mayor of Boston, a mayor of any city, to be doing that, and it's not like she told us. It's not. We had to dig and find this out. This is unheard of, and it's. You have to stand up for these things.
But what I realize nowadays is because I'm paying attention.
Right. I know you do.
Is that there's I know it's being said a lot. It sounds redundant, but there are two tiers of justice thing going on in this country right now. It's like if you for the establishment, they go easy on you, but if you're against it. It's like nowadays, let's just say you get in trouble with the law, something minor. Right. They go dig into your of who you are and to see who you represent and what's your point of your views on whatever's going on in society to punish you.
Right.
Which have nothing to do with what it is that you're going through. Yeah. They do that.
Anything to mess up your life.
Yeah, and if you for whatever it is that they doing, that they putting out there, whatnot, they pushing, then they go easy on you.
Yeah, exactly.
We're watching this right now on TV right now with the whole. I don't want to talk about this thing right now because this is not the time. But the whole Biden thing, Hunter Biden thing, right? We're watching it right now. We looking at it. But what I'm gonna say is that I think in the long run, they're gonna regret all of this stuff. Because in the long run, the people is not going to stand for it. Because after a while, there's going to be a point where, and it's already happening, because there's a lot of people that was on the other side jumping shift. Yeah. Way more on their side jumping shift to the other side because of common sense.
Right. Thank you.
Because at the end of the day, common sense is going to win. Because it's like, hold up. You doing that to them? You starting to do that to me too. That's supporting you. Like, hold up. I don't want that. Right. You know what I mean? And a lot of people are just waking up to this thing. Yeah. I guarantee you the next election that's going to happen, the percentage of black people or minority voting for the left is going to be less. Yeah,
I believe so too.
That's a guarantee.
I believe so.
Because a lot of us are waking up to the bull.
Right, definitely. And that's like you said, people like me, like that's the reason I'm running for this. It's we can't have people in office that they just violate the Constitution. And that's what makes me so angry, because all of those mandates, all that COVID stuff, if we actually have honest people in office that uphold the Constitution, which they swore to uphold, they wouldn't have been able to do none of that. They
would have went against it.
You couldn't. And that's what makes me so angry. Like, and we're paying you. You all got it twisted, some of them. You are public servants. You're supposed to serve us. You're supposed to represent the people. We pay your salary. I'm like, we're paying for our own oppression. This has to stop. And these career politicians, nah, just stop it. Like, because if you have been in office for years, I don't care if it's a few years, 10 years, 20, what are you really doing? Because if politics is the only profession that I know of where you can be ineffective for years and years,
and you still get reelected,
where you can vote for your own race.
You can fail over and over and over again, and you still hold your job.
I've never seen anything like it.
And it's the best hustle in the world.
And it's disgusting. And they do what they want to do. And I'm sorry.
I honestly believe, and I agree with it. Some people have brought that up, that they should have a limit on the terms.
Yeah,
I think they should.
Yeah. I mean, they have it on the presidency, but you need to have limits on all of it.
I think every decade they should change people that's on those.
It's a limit to how long you can
because every decade is it bring about something different, whether it be culture wise or philosophy or whatever. Something comes up. Because, the 70s was not the same as the 80s. The 80s was not the same as the 90s. The 90s was not the same as the 2000s.
Right.
And so on and so on and so on.
Yeah.
So the mentality change, the things change. I think we should have people that reflects that period of time in office.
Yeah. And again, and if you've been in there for years and years, and yet whether you're a city council, your district, or whatever, you're the mayor, whatever your position is,
we shouldn't have superstars in freaking those offices.
Right. And
it's ridiculous. 40 years being there, like some people have been there 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
And then you could pull out their whole sheets and their whole whatever, and then you don't see what they've done.
What's the progress? The community still looks like crap.
Yeah.
Your community's getting worse.
30 years you've been in office and you haven't done anything.
Right. And exactly. And I'm bringing it back to the mayor. Like, she was a city councilor before, and she's been a mayor. But I don't like that whole thing. Oh, well, it takes so much time to do things. No, they do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Boston, the crime in Boston is worse than ever. Mm-hmm. The homelessness rate is up. Everything is up. This whole mass and cast situation,
but
is an outrage.
It's all those most of them, those sanctuary cities and liberal cities, that's like that. Not to say that not the conservative people don't have their own issue or whatnot, but the stuff, let's just look at San Francisco for a minute. Mm-hmm. California and Seattle's and some of those other places like
Philadelphia.
It's nuts.
It's horrible.
Look at New York.
Yeah, I know.
I've had this because my brother, I have a couple of my brothers, half of my family's over there in New York, and I had this little argument with my brother, and he was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dog, player, they done indoctrinated you to believe certain things. Yeah. I'm like, don't believe anything I say.
Right.
Take a step back and look at the stats of your city, and then come back to me and argue with me.
Right.
The stat shows it.
They're destroying cities.
The stats shows it. It's out of control.
Right.
It's out of control. I used to love going to. I just came from New York last weekend. Hanging out with my people.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like, it's not this. Don't get me wrong. New York always been. There's always been crime and this and that, whatever. But there's a certain amount of level of understanding and common sense and certain things that's going on that used to be in place. Mm-hmm. So people would kind of like, whether you were on the left, middle, right, we all understood that this was wrong.
Right.
That was wrong.
Certain things.
This was wrong. Right. Now it's like, what do you mean? Like, it's like, hold up, this is wrong. We all know this is wrong.
Right.
But yet you're acting like it's not.
Yeah, everything's flipped. What's wrong is being presented as right, and what's right is being presented as wrong. It's backward. It's scary.
Not to go into the Bible, but the Bible did predict that. I'm not
that's the truth.
I'm not a religious person per se, whatnot, because I keep my mind open, because I've been into the whole. My belief always been that we not alone. Since day one, I've been born. I was a kid. I've always knew that we were not alone. You know, there's nobody can make me believe that we are alone. You know, we not alone. And with that said too, there's certain things that's about to happen in the near future. Don't be fooled by it. Don't be fooled by it. Keep your faith. Don't be fooled by it. But what I'm saying is that we always knew certain things was facts, and certain things was debatable, and certain things was just like whatever up in the air. But it seems like everything is just mixed up. Like we don't know what's real and what's not anymore. Well, some of us do. But I'm saying the majority of the masses that's being indoctrinated to the media or culture or whatever don't even. You ever had a conversation with one of these people and then you like, what the hell are you talking about? Right. It's like they're in La La Land.
It's the weirdest.
It's the weirdest thing.
And it's like I've never seen this before, except in the past few years. It's like I've never seen. I'm like, this is weird. And I like because when all this stuff started, the whole lockdown, COVID, and like I said, I don't claim to be an expert on everything. I don't claim to be the smartest person in the world, but I just have some common sense. I'm like, the things that you're believing don't make sense. I'm shocked. I mean, you talk to people that, previously I thought were just, free thinkers and thought for themselves, and you have conversations, and I'm thinking, you literally just regurgitated exactly what you saw on the news.
You ever pay attention where you watching the news or whatnot or whatever, those mainstream medias, and then there's like 20, 30 different stations, and supposedly they're not connected to each other. They do their own thing, but yet they all repeat the same thing in the same word in the same manner. How is that possible? You never thought about that?
I don't
Nobody
know.
ever thought about that?
Like
and I've been trying to show it to everybody. Like, hold up, this ain't the same thing in every channel.
Right.
But yet they're not connected, supposedly. But we all know they are, because there's parent companies that owns everybody that's underneath them.
Exactly.
Well, I know that, and I've been explaining that to a lot of people that don't understand that the media is connected.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're all connected, because there's Ted Turner up there, there's Bill Gates, there's whatever up there that owns the parent company, and everybody else is underneath is sub. It's like a subcontract to the bigger companies, and then the order come from up there, and it goes trickling down to whoever's down there, all the way to the local media.
Right, and they're old.
They tell you what to say.
They tell you what to think.
They tell you what to think. They tell you what to believe in.
Right.
Is that?
It's like mind control. Yeah. It's insane.
It actually is. It actually is. And there's a lot of psyop going on and whatnot. My advice would be to have faith and don't believe everything you see.
Right.
Yeah, I'm saying it. You see. You're gonna see a lot of stuff that's gonna look real as hell. I'm telling you. And that was one of the reasons. The funny thing is, during the whole COVID thing, I was like, I didn't want to wear my mask at work, but they were forcing me to wear it because they kept threatening me and whatnot or whatever.
Yeah.
But I still would just rebel. I still would rebel and whatnot or whatever. And I had a strong conviction. I was staying there. They were like, oh, they're about to make us do it. And I kept telling them to their face, there's nothing that's gonna make me take it. I'll quit the job before I take it.
Right. Exactly.
I would not do it. Exactly. You know what, not or whatever. But and I honestly believe that, and some of you should be doing that. I honestly believe that it doesn't take a lot of us, but if one of us stands strong, the rest have hopes.
Exactly. Like the power of the people is more powerful than. First of all, we are the majority, so we have more power than they do, and we need to understand that and stop fearing them. and just an example of that is like I said, getting back to like what I started doing with a few other people. We're not a large group of people. It wasn't a large group. It was me in front of the mayor's house, literally like like 5 or 6 people.
The people that's hollering and screaming and making all the change and making people feel they're not large. They're not a large group.
Right.
They're a small group. They just appear to be large because the media pushed that narrative.
Right.
But they're not.
They're not.
They're not. Believe me, they're not. They're a small percentage. They're not a large percentage.
Right.
It's just people believe that the whole country is like that or the whole world is thinking that. But no, they're minority. They're very small groups. They're not a large group. They're just for some way the government kind of propelled them to that status, to that stage where they have all that power. Back up by the government, the power to be or whatnot or whatever, because not everybody in government is for it. But what I'm saying is that it's being propelled to look that way, but it's not. It's honestly not that way. Because once you put your feet down, you're like, perfect example. Look at Dave Chappelle. Look at Joe Rogan.
Exactly.
If they were that much powerful, they would have stopped him. You know why they didn't stop him? Because somebody decided on the other side that was backing Joe Rogan, like, you know what, I'm not falling for this.
Yeah.
That's why they still did.
Right.
Think about it. If Spotify had fold, Joe Rogan wouldn't be here right now. Or Netflix had fold.
Yeah.
We probably wouldn't. Dave Chappelle probably would have been done by now.
True.
You know what I mean? So it takes strength and conviction and be whatever to stand, you know.
Don't comply. See, people comply because they think, no, I'm just gonna go along with it now and then everything will go away. No, that makes it worse. That you have to stand up for your rights now, immediately, and you stand up strong. Like just going back to like even with the list. We went in there strong. We're standing up, we're talking about it. Because if we were to cower and just be like, oh, I guess we should just shut up because we're on a list. Oh, my God. That's worse because now you don't know what your enemy is doing. They're going to, as long as you comply and you lay low, they're going to do more. No, you stand up, you put them on blast. You let the whole world know. You let them know you're not afraid. You let everyone know. And especially when it comes to like people in government, these people are such cowards. I've seen them. Charlie Baker ran away from me and my girl Catherine, and we're just 2 women. They hate being publicly shamed because they need good public opinion to get votes, stay in office, and keep getting that money. So you stand up to them strong and loud. You put them on blast. You humiliate them. They fold.
Do you have a team? Do you have a team with you, or do you have a team that's with you, that's helping you? Because I know you never been in politics like that. So it's certain things you have to have. You have to have the know-how.
Oh, you're right. You do. I'll be honest. My team is my people that we've been out here doing this. We're as grassroots as it gets. We don't have a machine behind us. We don't have money. We have ourselves. We do have people that support us and who have volunteered to help us get signatures.
How do you go by putting the word out that you are running and that you have this team with you and that you have this cabinet that you're gonna this is what you're gonna what is your list of things that you need to change? What is your policy?
Okay, here's
your own
the
policies
that I really want to work on. First of all, I want to the whole mass incarceration situation is very serious because it's spreading throughout the whole city. I've been down there. Me and my friend, we've gone in there. We've talked to people. Cops are standing right there, right there.
Oh, I know. Trust me.
And
I'm down there. I'm down there. I used to be down there every Monday.
Yeah. You know, all type of hard drugs are being sold. Drugs with fentanyl, all type of stuff. People dropping dead. If you're selling this stuff, I'm sorry, you have to get arrested. The mayor and the police department. I know, but the police department answers to the mayor. That's the chain of command. The mayor has been ordered them just to stand down, and that's a fact because they answer to the mayor. So women are getting raped, assaulted, all types of violent crimes down there. You got to get arrested for that. People are doing stuff. I saw a video on Twitter of down there. People having sex outside. People going to the bathroom. It's unsanitary. You're going to cause disease. You had us wearing masks and all that. But it's okay for people to do unsanitary stuff outside. And I'm not against those people.
Drive by there sometimes. It's like, boy, I have first-hand experience with them. So I know. Yeah.
And I'm not judging people. People need help. They're handing out, because I've talked to people, they're handing out free housing vouchers and all that. But I feel, okay, give people housing, but I think it should be the conditions on you need roles, to be in a program to have your free housing, because I'm serious, like, if someone has a problem in addiction and they have free housing,
you need to be in a detox program somehow.
Exactly. They're going to overdose behind closed doors. And I think that's the plan. I think it's just to give people free housing and make it look like you cleaned up the city, but people need help. Okay? And people, you got to arrest people. I'm sorry. The mayor, all these other rich, bougie people that are okay with this. You wouldn't allow that in your neighborhood. Oh, but it's okay for District 7.
Believe me, I was.
It's not right.
And that's the reason why. One of the reason why I kind of like I had issue when I was working for ABCD or whatnot or whatever. I kind of saw through the whole process and whatnot, and they did not like it. The fact that I was awake and I could see what was going on,
right?
And I kind of rebelled against it a little bit, and I was like, hold up, I'm not doing this. I don't want to be part of this crap. Right. You know what I mean? They actually not really out there helping these people.
Right.
They're not really helping these people.
Right. They're enabling people.
Not. They exactly. That's exactly what it is that they're doing and whatnot. It's all about numbers to them. It's all about, okay, let's just make sure we have this number of files, because everybody have different files. I still have my files of different names and different whatever. You know, you could have like 40, 50 of them of different people that you're working with. They all have different files or whatnot, and then within those files, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, you could be working with an individual, try to get houses and help with some of them have houses already. You got to help with paying the utilities and food and all that other stuff, or clothing or whatnot or whatever. But it was never really about helping these people. It's more about, let's see how many cases that we can have on our hand, and try to make it seem that we're working with 50, 60, 100 people. We're working 100 cases so we can get the funding for these 100 cases, but not really helping them.
Oh, wow.
We're not really helping them, because it's more of a like a front. Like we out here, we acting like we helping these people, but we're not really helping them. We're just worrying about the money that's gonna come into the program, so we could make more money in the program, showing that we're working with 100, 300 people. But if we really dig into whatever, probably 3 or 4 will probably get houses within 100 of 200 people. And when they do, those 3 people get the housing or whatever they help. It's more of a like, we have to have at least a couple of people that get it, so we don't look like we're not doing the job. Wow. They're not really helping. I was there, and I was disgusted by it. And I was really disgusted by it, because I used to rebel against it to try to. But you know how that is. Once you're in that system, and then, you know, you start talking, you become the enemy.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I'm saying, they try to get rid of you, which they did. You know, they even try to deny me my you know how you get fired and then you get unemployment. You know, they try to deny me that, and then went to whatever. But I won my case though.
Good. Yeah.
Because I'm smarter than them. Because I kept all records. I kept all the emails.
Good.
Because what I would do in the process of doing that, I would send emails saying that, oh, I don't think this is this, and then they would answer me like, oh, well, do this, do that, do your job, blah blah blah, and I kept all of them.
Good for you.
No, come on, I kept all of them. And then when we went to the whole place and then I was whatever, and the people were like, oh, okay. And I showed that, you know, the people, they didn't care. They didn't give a fuck. Mind you, I was at the job for about few months, 6 months or whatnot. Our supervisor left because he had the surgery, whatever. And his supervisors, when we were going through certain things in the office, mind you, we were out there. We were all brand new employees.
Okay.
Try to work this thing out. Try to, you know, we don't even know the system yet. Yeah. We try to work this thing.
But you're there in good faith.
Yeah, we try, and I'm trying to tell them like, okay, listen, we need some people in the office that's gonna help us, because we don't know what we're doing here. We have no idea what we're doing. They're like, well, don't worry about it. Do whatever. We don't have time for it. And that was one of the emails that kind of put it out there, kind of like, hold up.
Wow.
They just left you out there with no supervision, no help, no nothing. And then they expected you to do this and that and third. Yeah. That's how I ended up winning my case. But
good
anyway.
Wow.
Basically,
thank you for talking about that.
Oh no, I mean I don't usually talk about that whatnot, whatever. I've had a lot of experience in the field. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I've seen. I understand the system. Very well. You know what I mean? When it comes to working with kids and other people that needs this and that.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. A lot of them. There's a lot of them that's doing it. That's there to really help. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's there to really help. So I'm not gonna say all of them are like that. I'm not gonna say that. A lot of them are there to really help, but a lot of them, it's all about the numbers. Cause the more numbers you have, the more fun you get from the government.
Right.
The more money they make. So it's not about, they don't really care about what really happened to the client or whatnot or whatever. It's all about okay, this one is going replace this one right away. Wow. So you can make the money. Because think about it. Let's just say certain programs, I'm not going to name. Certain kids might come into the program, and that kid alone, the government is spending, let's just say, $250,000 for that kid a year.
Okay.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
They don't want to lose that kid.
Oh, man.
They don't want to lose that kid. And once they do, they already have somebody else to replace that kid. It becomes not so much about the kid anymore. It becomes about the numbers, about how much money they can make off of those kids.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It becomes about how much money can I make off of these kids. You know what I mean? They have the front that they try to help these kids. But when you look at it deeper and deeper, it's not really about the kids. It's about the numbers. Because soon as a bed is free, they replace it right away.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
But they don't always make the best decision. Not all of them. There's the people in there.
Yeah.
You're always gonna find people that wants to do things or whatnot, that dedicate their life to helping kids or whatnot or whatever. Right. But the system overall, I feel like, is not usually for these kids. It's more about the numbers and money. It becomes a business, basically.
That's a shame.
It becomes a business. And believe me, I've been in there long enough to understand that and see all this whole process of how they go about. The kid might benefit from the help and whatnot or whatever, but more could have been done.
Yeah.
For that kid. You know what I mean?
When you think about all the money that's out there, like
there's $250,000 for one kid, that's a lot of freaking money.
Yeah, should be helped. Like
that's a lot of money.
Reason why
some people don't even make $50,000 a year.
So that doesn't make
lot of money.
sense. And then kids especially, but everybody, then people.
Because you know what happened. Let me. Some people might be like, $250,000? Nah, I don't believe you. Let me explain to you how that works.
Okay.
The kid needs a doctor. Their primary PCP. They need a counselor. Yeah. They need a teacher. They need a professional doctor for their behavior. They need a behavior specialist. They need sometimes maybe like they need all sorts of different help. They need dentists. Right, they need an eye doctor. Right. They need whatever. All of these people are getting paid for that one kid.
One child.
All of these people are getting paid, and they're not cheap.
Right. This stuff is not
cheap. They're not cheap. They need a team of behavior specialists to work with the kid for their behavior, their specific behavior.
Yeah.
That team is getting paid too. They need regular employees like me to work with the kids on a daily basis.
Okay.
They need a supervisor to run the house. They need a house manager. They need the overall other person to run those houses. They need a director of a program.
Wow.
They need nurse on calls. They need counselors. Goodness. They need head nurse. See what I'm see what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
So with this one kid, they could generate a lot of money. So it's not necessarily about the kid.
Yeah.
It's about how much money can we generate to make the system work. Because they pretend A lot of them, not all.
Yeah.
They pretend that they helping the kid with all this backup and all this stuff or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But my kid was just seen by the PCPO counselor probably 3-4 times that year.
A year?
I'm just saying. Let's just say you see your doctor probably 3-4 times that year. And some of them need to be in the hospital. You know what I mean? So they need extra stuff, extra help. So with that kid, this primary doctor, is seeing this kid 2-3 times a year. What do you think this doctor can actually do for this kid in 2-3 times a year?
Nothing. You can't do.
Sometimes you go in there with the kid. I used to do visits back in the days. I haven't done them in a while, but I used to do visits. I used to go with the kids in the hospitals and meetings and all that stuff or whatever. When I go to the hospital, the doctor will come in, look at the kid for like 5 minutes and then and be gone.
Are you serious?
Yeah, 5 minutes and be gone and just be like, okay, this, and just leave. So what do you think that 5 minutes is going to do for that kid? Nothing. 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 But I guarantee you that doctor probably got probably a check for $20,000-$30,000 or 15 or 10,000, whatever the amount is.
Yeah, whatever they got
for
paid.
that visit, for that 3 visit for the year.
So this is awesome.
It's I hate to say it.
Scam.
I hate to say it, but it seems like a hustle.
That sounds like a hustle to me.
Yeah,
like it
seems like a hustle. I'm in the field and I get so aggravated sometimes.
Wow.
And then if you go to my job, they'll tell you I'm a rebel. Like I'm always arguing, always fighting the system.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I'm surprised I'm still at that job because they tried me. But the thing is, I'm not to brag, but I'm very good at what I do.
Right, I'm sure you are. Yeah.
I've been doing it for a long time.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
It's not something I just picked up. I've been doing it for years. Like I said, 20-some years in the field. So I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, I know how to deal with different type of behaviors and kids and whatnot or whatever. I know how to deal with that. It's more of a It's more of a like making these people see what it is that they should be doing,
right,
instead of whatever. But let's go back to your.
Oh wow, that's
let's go back to your political.
Yeah. No, but I'm so glad that you broke that down because I don't have your experience.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't understand.
But I've always thought, wait a minute, with all the money out there, don't tell me that things can't get fixed. I don't accept that.
Certain programs get a lot of money.
I don't accept it.
A lot of money.
I don't accept this thing where people in office say, oh well, these things take time and they take money. There's so much money.
The reason why I went into this is like it's parallel to the political world.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I broke it down. I didn't want to break down the political world because I don't know the political world, so I had to do it from a perspective of what it is that I know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. It's the same thing as political world. Mm-hmm. They get a lot of funding, they get a lot of stuff, a lot of money into their programs or whatever it is, the cabinet or whatever that it is, but they don't use that money to help the community really the way they're supposed to. Right. They just use a fraction of that money to show that, oh, they're trying, but the rest goes back to them.
That's disgusting.
It goes back to them.
Yeah, that's what makes
whether it be through bonuses or gifts,
voting for their own raises, or hiring your son and your sister, which I had to say that,
or raise or dinner, like they're doing dinner to raise money, funding,
fundraisers.
Fundraisers. That's how the money get used. You know what I mean?
Goodness gracious.
But with that said, and you pretty much going into a world that's foreign to you.
You know what?
How you approaching that? How do you?
I'm approaching it just with honesty and integrity, and my whole thing is being transparent and going by the Constitution.
But a lot of people do approach it that way, right. but somehow get kind of coerced into doing different things.
All I can say is, if I ever did get elected, you're not going to coerce me into anything because I have integrity, and I'm really not here to get to
To be friends.
Not to be friends, not to be. I'm not a politician. I'm here because y'all are doing such a horrible, disgusting job. Most of you, so dishonest. I can't sit back and watch and let this happen. So no matter what happens, I'm here to put you on blast. I'm here to hold you accountable. And the people that support me are going to hold you accountable. And even if I don't get in there, I'm still going to be out there holding y'all accountable because it's disgusting what y'all are doing. Like, just for example, I got to say this. One of the person that's Tanya Fernandez Anderson, who is the city council for District 7. It's been in the news. I've tweeted about it. She blocked me on Twitter, whatever. I've met her before, whatever. She recently just got into, came out that when she first got into office, she hired her sister and her son, which is you're not supposed to do, gave them both $70,000, gave her son, their salaries were supposed to be $70,000. Her son was supposed to be $50,000, and then she gave him an $18,000 bonus, raise. So they're both getting like $70,000, and then she got found out. So all they did was, this just came out, she had to pay a $5,000 fine. Now she makes like way over $100,000 a year.
$5,000 is a slap.
Resign. She should resign. She's not gonna resign. She has no remorse.
What were they doing though?
I don't know really.
What position did they hold?
I believe her son was a treasurer. I'm not exactly sure what her sister was, but she tried to act like, oh, I didn't know it was unethical. Don't tell me you broke constitutional law. Like, it's not just, oh, you did something that wasn't. You broke the law. You did know, but they don't care. But the mayor ain't going to get rid of you because you support the mayor. This is what they do. I got to go off. I got to say these things. Kendra Lara, city councilor. She recently, like back in June, was driving. She was speeding in Jamaica Plain, which is her district. She ran into this old woman's house, drove right up into the house. Luckily, no one was home. No one was hurt. Okay. Her own son.
I didn't know about none of
that. So you're not going to know because they keep it on the low. Her son was in the back seat. Thank God her son did get hurt. He wasn't seriously injured. He had to go to the hospital, but because she did not have him in a child safety seat. So thank God her son was not seriously injured. You know what I'm saying? But she was driving, she was speeding. That's a crime. She has this revoked license for years. She shouldn't have even been driving. If that happened to me or you, we would have been arrested on the spot because it is a crime. And then DCF would have taken the kid. Nothing is happening to her. You do know she did not even apologize to the woman. It was an elderly woman's home. Thank God she wasn't home. Yeah. No one was. But it's just things like this. These are examples of me. They get away with everything. So we can't have people in office like that. We got to put some people in office. If you don't want me in office, like all I can do is present to you what I stand for, what I think should be done. It's up to you to decide if you want me in there or not. I'll be the first to admit I am no politician. I do not have experience with it, but I know right from wrong, and I believe in the Constitution, and I have integrity, and I'm standing up to these people. They already know. Now, what was I going to say? But it's just like, no, go ahead.
How do you go about letting the people know in your district that you are running?
Yeah.
Do they know? Or
yeah,
are you
some
out
people,
there
I'm out there as much as I can. Of course, I don't have a lot of money behind me.
No, that's fine.
Have a big
yeah.
But literally,
you can be creative
yes,
with it.
you just do it the old-fashioned way. I got onto the ballot the old-fashioned way. I knocked on doors. I made up some little flyers. I knocked on doors. I talked to people. I think that's, for me, the most effective thing. I got in a lot of good conversations with people. I told them what I stood for. My neighbors were telling me what's going on. My neighbors are telling me crime is getting so bad, District 7. This never used to happen before. People from Mass and Cass are coming up. They're robbing people. A couple people told me that my neighbors, they found them in their house like 3 a.m, going through the fridge. Like, these aren't like these people have issues. Like, they're going into your fridge because they're hungry. Like, this problem is bad. It's affecting everyone. It's affecting those people that need help, and it's affecting the community because the crime is up because they're doing dumb crimes. I'm gonna come in your house while you're home and go in your fridge. Like, come on. But that's bad for the community. People have talked to me about that. Gentrification. I'm very concerned about that. There are things going on.
Is that happening over there?
Yes, happening everywhere. Oh, definitely all over Boston. They're putting up all these new buildings everywhere, which are the luxury apartments, condos. There's some.
But hold up. I've heard this thing many times, gentrification or whatnot.
Right.
But at the same time, when people are coming in and putting businesses up, is it? Maybe it's not always gentrification. Maybe it's probably making the neighborhood better. What would categorize building new businesses, building new apartment, and building whatever as gentrification?
Okay, good question. Now, yes, sometimes it is good for a community to build good businesses that if they're actually going to get jobs.
Because I know some people, without cutting you off, because I know people say that all the time. But sometimes that's not what it is. It's probably sometimes maybe try to bring new businesses and new this into a certain community.
It
whatnot.
Can be. Okay. But what I'm seeing is, and even when I was out door knocking, I've talked to people as well. They're bringing in things like, for example, in the Highland Park area, they're bringing, I forget the name of it, but it's they want to bring in some big high rise, very small, really high. Would be like just really small spaces and the extremely high rent, like 3,000 for a very small size, huge high rise. And the only people that are going to be able to afford that are the very rich, and it's going to bring the property value up. But even people that are like exchange students who happen to have the money, that are the only people that are going to be able to live there, not families, not everyday working class, regular class people. That's what's happening all over the city. And my issue with that is that they never ask the community, do you want this in your community? But by the time the community finds out about it, it's already a done deal. They've already signed it. That they try to pretend that we're going to ask the community. It's already a done deal, and it's shutting down small business. It's shutting down.
To go on the other side. I'm trying to play devil advocate here. You know, does the community even care sometimes? Because sometimes. You know that, and I know that there could be community meetings and council or whatnot, or whatever meeting to decide certain things in the community, and nobody shows up.
Right, no one shows up. But I'll tell you why.
Most
people they don't have time to show up.
I understand. So with that said, do you blame them for when they come up with those meetings and then they ask everybody to come in and come give your 2 cents or whatever your opinion about certain things, and nobody shows up? So what are they supposed to do?
Well, here's the thing, and first of all, they do these things at times. Most people at work every day. Way? They're not letting most people in the community don't know.
You think they do it like in a sneaky way?
I think so, in my opinion. And another reason I say this, because when I was talking to some women who were out, they were petitioning. These 2 women were petitioning about this thing going on in Highland Park Ave in Roxbury. They told me that sometimes at these so-called meetings, they get people that are with these programs that aren't even from the area to just come in and like pretend to be from the area and sit in the meetings and say, yes, we want that.
But I understand that part. I understand. I'm still playing devil advocate. Right. But I understand that. But at the same time, why is that the community leaders are not showing up at these meetings?
That I can't tell you. If you've been a community leader,
because I understand that. Yeah, they're doing those things. It's like somebody try to come into your come into your business,
right?
And then that you have a business and they try to steal stuff. It's your responsibility to have security.
Okay.
To look out for these people. You know what not? So it's the same thing. Like there's meetings and there's like fake people from other places coming in. There should the community leaders and the people in the community should be there at that meeting to be like, hold up, I don't know you.
Right.
Who are you?
Where do you live?
Where do you live?
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying?
Point.
You know what I'm saying? Like they should be calling those things out. They should be there to call those things out. Why are they not there to counteract whatever it is that they're trying to do? Because it seems like a lot of time they get away with stuff because the real representative of this community are not there.
I agree with you. Because I believe the public, the everyday working, most people at work, they don't really know. And like you said, whoever is leading the community is active in the community. I don't know. Like that's a very valid question. Like, or they should be letting the people know, or people that are city councils who have been working in the community. Yeah,
because I'm sure there's no way in hell you're gonna have a community meeting and not let the community leader in that community be aware of the meetings happening.
Right.
That would be something crazy, like to do that and then not invite me into the community,
right.
not letting me know that you're doing a community meeting while I'm the community leader.
Right. No,
so those people in that position, we should question them too.
Definitely. Yeah. Everybody in that position.
Unless they have their own personal agenda, they're getting paid not to be there.
Maybe so, or I don't know, or have an agenda that you just push it.
They just let everything slide because they're getting paid on the back end to let things happen.
Who knows? Because it that's what I say. Like, and I know I'm very new to all this stuff, so. No, I'm just same thing. I'm not me. We in the same position, so I'm using common sense and you know to understand like why is that these things are happening. I agree with you.
And they've been happening. The reason why I brought it up is just like these things been happening that people are complaining. Oh, they did this, they did that. Hold up, how is that our community that it wasn't aware of that?
Right.
There's no way.
I agree. So I do have to question for people that have been community leaders for years and years and years.
Yeah, like 30, 40 years.
Right. Really, what have you
and they're not letting the people know anything about what's going on.
Right. And I think that's what's happening because most people were so busy.
So unless you're getting paid in the back end to stay quiet.
Who knows?
While they're doing all of this stuff.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't see any other reason why wouldn't you not let the public know that and we can this is about to happen in your community,
right? And yeah, it's good. It's a valid, very valid point. Yeah. I also heard about situations where in the past, I don't know how recent or whatever, where there would be open lots or a building that's been there for years, and
we should look into those communities. Are they corrupt as well?
Yeah, I think everything needs to be exposed, and people say, well, who are you to run because you have no experience, but and that's very valid for anyone to say that. Like, why should I vote for you? You should ask me that. Yeah, and I'll tell you. But I also think it's a valid question to ask for those. Well, if you have you do have way more experience than me. You've been doing this for years. So why is the community still falling apart under your watch?
Exactly.
Under your watch, why is it still falling apart? I'd like to know.
Yeah.
Make me understand. I would like to know because honestly, if you were doing such a good job, I wouldn't have to do this. I mean, and I don't mean that in an arrogant way. I just mean things are so bad that I've said I've got to try to do something. What have you been doing? I don't know. It's
a legitimate question, right? You know what I mean? Because if you've been there for 20, 30 years and there's no progress, nothing going on, what's going on?
What's really going on?
Yeah, tell me how the whole process works, because it seems like maybe you're not the right person for the job.
Maybe so. If you're ineffective,
if you're standing there and then you cannot be in opposition to what it is that's going on when you know that it's not good for your community,
right?
Then we don't need you there.
Thank you.
We need somebody else that's going to stand in opposition to things that's going to hurt the community, not help it.
Right.
If you're helping it, then I can understand, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? We working together. Let's make it happen. But if it's hurting the community and you know it's hurting the community and you've been there for 20 years, then something is wrong.
Something ain't right. Either you willfully doing something wrong or maybe you're just incompetent. Either way, you got to go. Yeah. That's the way I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? So but those are really valid points. When I'm trying to, I know we don't have a whole lot of time. Like, wow. I'm also for young people, and you were talking about young people before. We've got to have, I know there's money, like you said, we've got to have programs for young people. Trade schools. Young people need skills so that they can get jobs. Education. Everyone says it, but education is key. But I believe we got to put money into trade programs. Everybody can go to college.
What I think they should bring back, because in the 90s, when I was in high school and all that other stuff or whatnot or whatever. Yeah, I'm old.
I'm old too.
So they used to have a lot of teen clubs.
Yeah.
Remember?
What happened?
They used to have in every little community because I used to go to those things. After school programs. We had a lot of after school programs.
Jobs.
Believe it or not, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of those teenagers right there. They don't want to be out there in the street doing those throwing gangs, all those crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I've lost a lot of friends in those things and whatnot or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm kind of familiar with the whole gang things or whatnot or whatever.
Right.
I've never been part of it.
Right.
But I've had friends that was part of it. I've had people that was part of it that was close to me.
Yeah.
So But I remember back in those days, they used to have like teen centers.
Remember all the time, yeah. It was stuff for young people to do.
It was everywhere. Like you could go over teen centers between because we used to get out at 1:45. You go there by 2, and then you get out like around 5 o'clock, whatever. Right. You had something to do. Yeah. And when you go to the teen centers, there was always somebody there to teach you different kind of skills and whatnot or whatever. Yeah. And then there was games and all that other stuff. It helps the teenagers to kind of like. Just like Denzel Washington, you always advertise about YMCA, whatever. Believe it or not, it helps.
Boys and girls.
It keeps you away from a lot of crap, stupid shit that's going on out there, or whatnot, or whatever. Right. Why is that all of these things just disappeared and they're not? They never came back.
Right, they never came
back.
They
never came back since the 90s. Don't tell me
you don't have the money.
We're in 2023. Right. It's been 20, 30 years that those things never came back.
That's a shame. They know what they're doing.
They never came back. But we used to have a whole bunch of them we used to have them everywhere because I used to go to all of them. I used to go to them in Brighton, Dorchester, Roxbury. Every little community used to have a teen center where kids used to go after school programs and whatnot or whatever to do it. None of them are there. So those kids are out there. They have nothing to do.
They have nothing to do. I've heard kids like in the summertime or even during the winter. You hear kids sometimes it'll be 1, 2 in the morning just wandering the streets, just yelling because kids have all that energy. They need to put that energy somewhere and be productive, and they want that. Yeah, kids want skills. They want jobs.
Believe it or not, kids want structure.
They do want structure.
They want it. And
if you don't give them, they're just gonna do things to get in trouble because they have all this energy.
What is the first thing they always tell you? Well, nobody said anything. Nobody tried to help me to do this.
Right.
When they fucked up. At a later age, you're like, well, there was nobody there for me to show me how to do this.
And once they get in that system, once you get in that system, if you'll go to juvie or you end up in jail, whatever, you're in that system. It's designed to keep you there. Then it's very difficult to get a job, very difficult to get anywhere.
Definitely, because I remember I used to work for this company. I don't need to name it, but I used to be the overnight supervisor for DYS gang unit for teenagers and whatnot. And I used to try to always explain to these kids like, hold up, player, you got the wrong mentality here, man. It's not about your little block.
Right.
I'm like, and I used to kind of tease them all the time because how I used to teach them and kind of it was a way for me to push them into thinking in a whole different way. I used to come in with pictures of the trips that I would take.
Oh yeah.
The different people that I would meet, the places that I would be. I'd be like, you see, you could do this, man. You don't need to, because it was sad though. Like, you know what was sad? That some of these kids never left their block.
That's a shame.
They never left their block. Some kids never left Roxbury to go to Mattapan.
That's a shame.
They never been to Mattapan. They don't know what Mattapan looks like because they're scared to go to the other side because of street politics.
Good Lord.
You know how sad that is. Like you right there in Roxbury and you don't know what Mattapan looks like.
That's crazy.
That is nuts.
Wow.
And vice versa, or some kids don't know what other cities look like or whatnot or whatever. Like they never been because they're scared to go to other because of code of gang or whatnot. I understand the whole concept behind the whole gang thing, but in 2023, I don't think we should be back in those concepts anymore because they're irrelevant right now. Because you could do things on your own right now. You don't need I don't need a whole team with me. I don't need nothing. I could go anywhere by myself. I know that.
And that's why I wondered, like, luckily my son, he's 18. He never got into trouble. Thank God. But I'm still wondering when I hear about, kids shooting and everything. I'm like, not that it was okay back then, but in the 80s and 90s, it was different. I'm not saying it was right. Yeah. But it
wasn't.
I'm not understanding why they're still doing it.
Because back at, okay, let me tell you the difference because I've had this discussion before. Yeah. It's like the difference between those kids now and us from back in the days in the 90s, we live by certain codes.
Okay, that's true.
In the 90s.
Yeah.
Even though we were doing wrong, we knew that we were doing wrong. We chose to do the wrong, but we knew that we were doing wrong. Right. If somebody approached us and be like, yo, man, come on, man. Be like, yeah, I know, man. Whatever, but, I got, whatever. But these kids nowadays, they don't know that they're doing wrong. They think it's normal what they're doing.
Okay.
Because it becomes normal.
Yeah.
It's they think that it's normal, and then if you approach them and try to explain to them, they don't understand it. They think you hating on them for telling them, nah, dude, you can't do that, man. That's not. They tell you, who are you to tell me what to do about this? Because this is what it is. They don't understand between right and. We knew what was right and wrong. Yeah. We just chose to do.
But you knew you would choose.
But we knew what was wrong. These kids nowadays are so confused that it's so mixed up that they don't know. A lot of them. I'm not saying all. Not all. There's exception to every rules. Remember that. I'm gonna say that again.
Yeah.
There's exceptions to every rules on the planet. Mm-hmm. But the majority of them don't understand what's right and wrong.
Well, that's pretty scary.
Because they think it's normal to do certain things. Come on, look, we see the behaviors on Facebook. We see the behaviors on TikTok. We see the behaviors everywhere.
See, we didn't have that then.
So back in the days, we would call it out. We'd be like, we'd be like, hold up. Even when we doing wrong, we'll be like, hold up, player. What are you doing?
Right.
Nah, man. Nah, dog. We can't. Right. Nah, man. We can't do that. Now, if you call it out, they tell you hating. As long as they're making some kind of monetary gain from it, they think monetary gain replace values and ethics and everything.
Wow.
What is it that you are always hear when you be like, yo, why are you doing this? That's fucked up. You can't be doing that. At least I'm making some money over it. That's always the excuses. Tell me I'm lying. That's always the words. They always are, yo, I'm making some money. So making some money kind of excuse every other freaking things that they do.
Wow.
With whatever it is that they're doing. Which is sad.
Yeah, it's very, very sad.
It's sad. Because money shouldn't supersede integrity,
not
value, and honor.
Right.
Because back in the days, let's just say it was the name, your family names was extremely important.
Right.
And that's why we was grounded in certain rules. Because family name, because back in the days, if you did something to embarrass the family, you get denied by the whole family. The whole family kind of push you away.
Wow, yeah.
Nowadays, if you do something, you have the family name, but if you make some money off of it, they praise you. Yeah. They praise you.
We're failing our young people.
They praise you. Got people out here that come out there and claim the fuck shit that they're doing as if like it's a badge of honor.
Okay, we've got to do.
You see it all the time.
Yeah, no, you're right. And with social media, people are doing stuff just to.
You see it all the time. Somebody would just the other day I was watching. I forgot what I was watching. This girl, and she was like, yeah, that's what I do. I'm a hoe. Blah 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 blah. I do this. I blah suck this. Yeah. And it's like. People, I couldn't even fathom any women in my days.
You did that was.
That would come out and say something out loud.
Never.
They don't get me wrong. They did it.
Right.
They did it. There was a few that was doing it.
Right.
But they would never claim it.
Because they knew it was wrong. Like you said, they knew it was wrong.
We knew what was wrong. And then we wouldn't claim it. We wouldn't be like,
they're proud of it.
Be like, oh, you did what? Oh, shit.
Well, we have to do better for young people.
But now they claim it proudly like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Look at the how low can we go when we have a song that talk about my think pink, my booty hole back. Right. How low do you want to go?
It can't you with
I don't see how low can we go? Yeah. How low can we go?
We can't go any lower. We got to do something like and these people, these are young people. So we got to do.
Mind you, that same girl goes into high school and high school children are screaming and elevating her to a status that. She talk about her song about her and booty hole. Seriously. Yeah. And then you guys are praising that?
That's backwards.
Seriously?
Okay, we're
you make your money however you want to make, you a hustler, whatever. Yeah, if they accept it, do your thing. That's how I'm saying. But geez, really?
Yeah.
That's what we praising?
I don't know.
Any last word, because because of time and whatnot or whatever. We're definitely gonna have to have you back up in here.
Yeah, definitely.
But anything you want the people to know about your run and everything else that you need to let people know, just let them know real quick. Talk to me.
Wow, just know that if I am elected, like I'm someone that I'm going to listen to, I'm going to talk to, you're going to see me. I'm still out there. I'm going to knocking on doors, just letting people know myself and talking to people about what this is about. And the thing is, it's a movement. We the people can do this. I may not get in there this time, but 2 years later, I can run again for city council. Yeah. And during that time, we're still going to be out there, and also Catherine Vitale and Sean Nelson. This is a people's movement, because we can no longer allow politicians to oppress us, because we're paying for our own oppression. We pay their taxes, they pay their salary, and I think they've forgotten that they are public servants. They literally serve us. We are literally their boss. They can't shut us out. We're not going to let them shut us out anymore. They got to listen to us, and they can't take away our civil rights. And I'm sorry, all people, black people, everyone, people, all of us have ancestors. I don't care what color you are, have ancestors that fought and died for freedom. Mm-hmm. I don't care who you are. They
Everyone
fought
did.
and they died for freedom, for civil rights, everything. We cannot fail the next generation. I'm not going to be known as the generation that just stood back and let them take all of our civil rights.
I think we're so far in when it comes to that. We have to. It's going to take some drastic, some real fight to bring it back, because. We're in trouble.
We are in trouble. The human race is in trouble. We got another show. I mean, they're not letting us live, y'all. AI is coming. We didn't even get to talk.
I was just about. You funny thing is, I was just about to say that.
AI, CB.
No, I talked about that in some other shows, but
we can talk some more.
But the thing is, a lot of people are unaware. A lot of people just choose to be unaware of what's going on.
Please stop. You got to take your head off the sand.
That's crazy.
You got to take and central banking, digital currency.
Because the fight is coming.
That's coming.
The fight is close. It's very close.
15-minute cities.
Look at what they're doing with right now, as far as that alien is concerned. They're preparing you for something.
Right.
They're preparing you. You might not understand what's going on, but they're preparing you for what's about to be unleashed right now.
Yeah. One thing I just got to say, I've said this before, when you throw around that word conspiracy theorist, that phrase was coined.
You can call me whatever you want.
Exactly. But it was coined by the FBI to cover up the assassination of JFK. Anybody that was coming out with facts about the truth about it, the government back in the 60s dismissed it and said, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. So when you're calling somebody that, know where that term comes from, you're dismissing the truth.
But they don't even understand what it means anyway. A lot of people don't even understand what conspiracy theory is. You know what conspiracy theories is? A conspiracy theory is somebody that question everything.
Pretty much. The term was designed to cover up the truth. You should question everything. Think everything. Don't take our words for it. Go do some research. Please do. Go to alternative media. Go on. It's all there for you. I'm no smart anybody. I'm no genius. I'm nobody special. I'm just a regular person like you. But I'm standing up, and we got to stand up together as the people. We can do this.
Tell them how they can reach you and how they can support you with your
bit. On Twitter, it's Padma Scott for District 7. Facebook, of course, Padma Scott. I got 2 pages on Facebook. One's like my more conspiracy theorist page. I'm not on Instagram that much. I'm there though. You can reach me. I've got to set up my website soon. I know the only reason I'm behind with that is because money. You know, I'm a regular everyday person, but to me that don't matter.
That's what I'm saying. Where they can support you, and then kind of do you accept donations?
I have to set that all up with the treasurer and everything. It's going to get set up, and feel free to if you feel moved to help support.
We do have somebody in the building though, but he's not on the show right now. He's over there, but he's running for District 5.
Wait, I got it. I know him. I'm from. Here we go. Jean-Claude, I don't want to say his name. Jean-Claude Sannon. He's running for City Council District 8. He's another real one, and so whoever is in your district, you gotta look out for the real ones, definitely. And also, again, I gotta shout out Catherine Vitale, Sean Nelson. You know, look us up. Like I'm telling you, with the small group of people, we're the ones that we made news with. We not just making news, but I mean we
out there fighting the good fight.
We got the vax passports taken. We got the masks off kids in Boston public schools. We protesting works. Don't let them tell you otherwise. Stand up for your rights, or they're just gonna take all of them. That's all I gotta say.
With that said, man, I appreciate you for being here, Pat Mike. It's been a minute though.
I know it's been a minute.
It's been a while. I don't know when the last time you was on my show. That was when we were doing radio and all that.
Yes.
She was on my. She's been on my show a couple of times.
You were the first person to ever interview me ever back in 2016. So. See, he was the first one to ever interview me.
I've been doing this for a minute, though. I've been trying to reach out to all sorts of people and whatnot about it, to bring it out there for you guys and whatnot.
Right.
And we striving. We're making some some good progress when it comes to bringing you different people, different aspect, different subject, different whatever. Like I said, you never know what you're gonna get in my show. You know what I mean? You get all sorts of stuff. Today was about politics and all that good stuff. Some other time it's about music. Some other time it's about fashion. Whatever it is.
Yes.
Whatever it is. So thank you for coming through. I appreciate you, man. You know what I'm saying? And definitely you gotta come back next time. Yeah. We were supposed to have somebody else over there too that was gonna talk about, because she's into the whole activism thing.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Phoenix. Phoenix.
Yeah.
Phoenix is out there.
Right.
She's out there,
right.
but she has a different perspective. That's why I wanted both of y'all to. Because she's on the other side of things.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I wanted that discussion to go with you, but it's too bad it didn't happen. But I'm gonna try to make it happen another time. You know what I mean? Like she knows. There's always a reason to my madness. I do things on purpose. I put different people on purpose just to spark a conversation and whatnot or whatever and whatnot. But hopefully we'll get her to come through next time or whatever. We'll figure it out though. She couldn't make it today. Something happened, but it is what it is. So thank you for coming through, and we appreciate you. You already know what it is. It's the Posio Podcast. You see it behind you. You see it. You see it. Go check it out. Subscribe, like, share, comment, do all sorts of stuff. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Help us grow this channel.
Supports everybody.
I try. Just try to support us. Try to make this channel grow so we could represent. We represent the Massachusetts area, the Beantown area, but not only the Massachusetts area. Right. We looking beyond and all that other stuff. So because this is what it is. This is what it's all about. It's all about bringing people out there, bringing people together to kind of like get a different perspective and different ideas of different people, different clan, different group, different whatever you call it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So thank you for coming through. Appreciate you. Peace till next time. We out.
Peace.
Eddie.